Hi, I'm a girl who loves Supergirl, and I'm here to give you a review and Easter eggs of Supergirl episode 16, Falling! Hi, I'm Ashley Victoria Robinson, a girl who loves Supergirl, and I want to talk to you about all the good things in this episode of Supergirl. First of all, Cat Grant's first scene where she learns that she is being declared the most powerful woman in National City. I love that we get a moment where she corrects the ladies of the talk and says that not only is she the most powerful woman, but she is the most powerful and influential person in National City. It's a little feminist moment. I really appreciate it, especially for a show that focuses on female heroines in a variety of roles, especially, Cat and Alex outside of Supergirl. It was just a really nice moment, I also thought that we had a lot of really beautiful music. The scoring in Supergirl kind of changes from episode to episode. Sometimes it's really strong, and this episode, I think, has had some of the best themes to date. We had a lot of great music for scenes shared between Kara and her sister Alex, and between Jean and Alex, and I really appreciate that they go out of their way to highlight the alien nature of these characters in the underlying score. I think it really adds to the show. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Also, speaking of J'onn J'onzz, my third good thing for episode Falling is his phasing. Now, the phasing through things and behind things and through people, that's a big part of Martian Manhunter's character throughout comics history, and I love the way that they've done it. They've done it a little more like Nightcrawler's bamfing effect, if you'll remember from X2. Not as much smoke, but you see him phase red as he jumps in and around things, rather than necessarily phasing through them like we're used to seeing from the Justice League cartoon. Very effective, great for this universe, looked really freaking cool. And of course, easily the best scene in this episode was the scene with Kara and the little girl Laura, who is wearing the Supergirl outfit and being made fun of by her friends. It epitomizes what the show is about, and it's a really great moment before Supergirl's fall from grace at the end of the episode. Alright, it is time to dive into the Easter eggs in this episode of Supergirl. The giant red elephant in the room is, of course, the red Kryptonite. Now, if you don't know, red Kryptonite first appeared in Superman Volume 1, number 61, which was first published in November of 1949. Planting it solidly in the Golden Age, it has appeared throughout Superman's adventures and across various media, including this television episode. Second is the Cahuns, the alien race that you see Supergirl fighting towards the middle of the episode. They first appeared in Adventure Comics number 346, published in July of 1966, landing them solidly in the Silver Age of comics. Now, if you don't know, Adventure Comics was the DC publication that Supergirl starred in for a really, really long time, and this particular adventure where the Cahuns make their first appearance deals with a legion of superheroes, which is obviously a team that Supergirl is very much affiliated with, so it ties in nicely on two different fronts. Perry White gets mentioned. We see Siobhan sending an email off to him at the Daily Planet trying to undermine Cat Grant's authority. Perry White is the editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet. You see him in every incarnation of the Daily Planet I think that there is. He's a character who I would love to see on screen in this show, and it was really, really cool just to get that little tease of him. And then finally, the bar scene where you see Kara in her Kryptonian outfit hanging out in Noonan's, I'm pretty sure is a callback to the Superman 3 bar scene where you see Superman causing trouble for some local authorities. Those were all of the amazing Easter eggs. We got so many good Easter eggs this week in episode 16. Yay! Now we need to talk about the bad in this episode of Supergirl. Here's my question, and I've asked you this question before. How do Winn and Jimmy get into the DEO? Yes, they've been there before, but they have no easy access to it. There's no reason why they should know how to get there in the first place. There's no reason to be there. I understand that from a plot perspective, you want to have them with Alex and Hank so that they can take down Kara's problems, but it's just goofy that they're going to leave work in the middle of the day and go hang out in the DEO and try to solve everyone's problems. I didn't like that very much. Second of all, the red Kryptonite looked really bad, guys. We have some amazing visual effects going on throughout this episode. J'onn J'onzz looks amazing. Every episode he appears and he gets better and better. Well done. Well done to the visual effects team. But your red Kryptonite needs to come up to that level. The little rocks looked really, really silly. And that brings me to my final point about the bad. This episode of Supergirl felt like an episode of Smallville. Throughout Smallville, you see Clark dealing with the effects of red Kryptonite. It's even a season finale cliffhanger. It's a really big deal. And frankly, where we are in superhero television now, we should be past Smallville. I know that we have a lot of the same people working on both teams, but this should be better because we've had more history behind it. We've had more time with these characters and this type of storytelling. I don't turn on Supergirl to see an episode of Smallville. Overall, I think that the performance is saved by Melissa Benoist. She does a really great job playing with the two duality, the dueling parts of Kara's personality. but I kind of thought that the storytelling was a step back, and it felt like I was watching an episode from 10 years ago, so not really what I was looking for. It is time for my crazy theory of the week. Now, if you don't know, in the New 52, Supergirl becomes a Red Lantern. And what did we see in this episode? Red Kryptonite. So it is my prediction that by the end of the season, we are going to see a little red ring come flying in through Kara's giant apartment windows. And we're going to see her have to choose whether or not she's taking the Red Lantern oath against the power battery. It'll be really, really cool. Now it is time to rate episode 16 of Supergirl Falling. As always, the scale goes from a potential 1 to 5 Kryptonian crystals, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. Overall, I think this was a really solid episode of Supergirl. I think there was some good, I think there was some bad. I think the good outweighs the bad, and I'm happy for that. So overall, I'm going to give it 3 Kryptonian crystals. What I was really hoping for in this last leg of the season that we're in is more attention to the overarching narrative and Kara's overall growth. What I think we got was a one-off that kind of called back to old storytelling practices, and so I'm hoping that this is the last episode of its kind and we can move forward from here. Overall, I thought that this was a pretty good episode of Supergirl, but I really think that Melissa Benoist's duality of performances carried through kind of a silly plot device. But what I do want to know is I want you to go down to the comment section and tell me what kind of kryptonite you want to see Supergirl tackle next. Me, personally, I'm looking forward to seeing gold kryptonite because I think it is the most dangerous type of kryptonite that there is, and I would love to see Kara take that on. Now, if you want to see other recap shows that we do here, we do an awesome Legends of Tomorrow recap show that you can find the last episode for right there. If you want to hear other nerdy musings and you want to support us on the Geek History Lesson podcast and everything that we do here on Jawiin, head on over to patreon.com/Jawiin, Jawiin. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to go down and click that subscribe button. I have been Ashley Victoria Robinson, your girl on Supergirl. Be safe and make good choices.